What's up, guys? So today I want to talk about my 4 most used phone apps because I'm on the road or on location a lot. So these are apps you could use for any there's 3 apps you could use for any business on the go. The other one is more related to photography, but none of them are editing apps or anything like that. So I wanted to film this in phone orientation so the whole video stays in phone orientation. So that's why I'm using my cell phone to do this. So let's jump right in. So all of these apps except for one has a free version. So all of these can be free for you to download and use as you wish. So anyway, let's jump right in. Okay, so the first app that has really transformed my business would be Moonphase. Moonphase is amazing because let's say I have a portrait shoot coming up for March 16th. It's going to tell me when the sun rises at 7:33 a.m., see right under the moon. It's going to tell me when the sun is setting, 7:33 p.m., but it's also going to tell me when the golden hour and the blue hours are. So if I want to schedule a portrait shoot that's consistent with my portfolio, then I'm going to schedule this shoot between 7:30 and 8 a.m. or 6:59 p.m. and 7:33 p.m. So most likely I would schedule the shoot to start at 6:30 and end at 7:30 or something around that time. Of course, people are free to choose to decide to schedule outside of golden hour, but it may not be consistent with my portfolio. So the next thing I want to look at with Moonphase is if I'm scheduling a wedding, or if someone has scheduled a wedding, I can actually look at that location. So of course this is set to my current location, but let's say they're getting married in Los Angeles, I can just click custom location, put in the location, the date, and it will tell me for there. So it's also extremely beneficial for wedding photography when people actually are actively wanting you to be a part of planning their day, which those are the best kinds of clients to get, really, because then you can schedule whatever it is they want in the best time possible. Like if they want their ceremony, if it's the most important thing to them and they want it scheduled at, during the golden hour, then we can actually do that and then do their formals in the dark or inside or whatever it is they want. We can schedule around the best time of light and what they want. So Moonphase is just fantastic, and like I said, it's free. So let's say you're trying to plan a trip and you want to do some astrophotography. Well, you can actually look at the phases of the moon. If you wanted to do astrophotography, you're going to want to have a new moon predominantly because it's just black and you can get those photographs much easier. Or let's say you wanted to do moonscapes, so it's like a landscape but at night. You could go when you have a full moon and, as long as the moon is not in the direction that you're shooting, you could get long exposures so the moon would be shining in the direction you're shooting, not in the direction you're shooting. You could get long exposures with clouds, star trails. Now the star trails won't be as visible. You'd probably want to use a new moon for that, but if you were trying to get the flow of water, it's going to be brighter. Your exposures are not going to have to be as long. So, there's a lot of different reasons why any photographer can just really get benefit out of this app. So this has helped me tremendously, but especially in deciding on what time shoots should be with the golden hour time list. Okay, so the next app I use, and it's essential, you can use it as a free version or a paid version. The paid version I think is $60 a year. I use the paid version because it's more useful to me. And I'll explain that in a minute. First, let me just get into it. It's called Everlance, and the paid version records your trips for you. The free version, you have to go in and manually put your trips, and you can only put 20. So basically, I can go through, and it says I'm in a trip, but I'm not really, I'm just sitting here. But I can go through and say, okay, this is not a business trip, so we are going to make that personal. It's a commute. I didn't have to go to the doctor or anything. So all these are commutes, and anything that is a business trip, we just swipe to the right. So that was not business either. So anyway, I have to go through these. It shows me I have 17 trips to go through. I try to go through them every couple days or so. Then you can also, it has your transactions in here. So basically you can record everything that you do on the go, and you can even add photographs up here in the corner, so you keep all your receipts, all your expenses, everything that you need up there. To make a transaction, you just hit the plus sign, and you can actually add revenue, or you can add an expense. You can add your photograph, and it'll say you can take a photo, use your last photo taken, go to the photo library, and you can actually go to record what the expense is, and then put notes in there so you never lose anything. And then at the end of the month and the week and the year, you can actually just export these in the form of reports. So basically everything you need for your business can be kept on your phone, and it's amazing because you don't have to lose anything. Oh, you can actually send your files to your accountant and yourself, so your reports at the end of the year can be sent to both. You go to home, it tells you your mileage, it tells you your transactions, it tells you how much your expenses are, and then it tells you your profit. Just, real lightly, how much you've spent and what you're doing. Go to taxes, it gives you a slight overview of your income. Of course, you would want to get your accountant or whoever to file your taxes for you, but it does a lot for me as far as keeping myself on track with my business receipts and all that kind of stuff. The next step we're going to look at is DocuSign. I love DocuSign because I can look back. Let's say I felt like my calendar, I maybe didn't put something in it. I can look at my recent agreements and contracts and look at every single month and say, oh, okay, let's see what this agreement says. And the date, I always keep the dates at the top. Okay, March 5th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay, I didn't have that on my calendar, so I need to put that on there or whatever. Anytime I need to look back at an agreement on the go, especially, if you travel a lot, then you're not always going to have your computer in your hand with you. You have this just in case there's some sort of dispute, or just, to look back and double check what you need. So this one's amazing. You can also create new documents. You could scan stuff. You have templates. You have your Google Drive. Of course, I mainly use this on the computer, and there is a fee for different levels. So I definitely don't use the paid version because I have too many contracts that go out per month, but I love that one. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is PayPal for Business, which is the white one in the upper left. And it is amazing because if you're on the go, then you can send invoices. So down here in the bottom right, second from the right, you can send invoices on the go. And so let's say you're out and you need to get something done really fast, then you can go ahead and bill them with this. Sometimes you have, you can go ahead and you can type their email in, you can find it, whatever, copy and paste it. And then you can also send your DocuSign contract as well, to just go ahead and have something in place if you couldn't get to your computer. So I absolutely love being able to do that. The wonderful thing, now people do wonder why I would use an invoice instead of like running their card or something like that. And there's a couple reasons, but the first thing is having an additional invoice allows me to put in the terms and conditions to see their DocuSign document, to show that it's, to put in there that it's non-refundable payment. Even up here where it says add item or service, I can put non-refundable blah, 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 whatever it is. The other thing about sending invoices is you can break things down. So let's say I have a few things going on, and one of them is the deposit. I can put in non-refundable deposit, and I can also put due upon booking, right? And then I can actually add another one. We're going to discard changes. So add item or service. The next one would be second installment or final installment, or however you work your payments out with your people. Due April 1st, 2019. And then you put the amount that's due April 1st, 2019. So you see there's a lot of different reasons why I use the invoice system. So yes, PayPal does charge 3% with the invoice transactions, but it's a safe way for people to pay. They feel comfortable with it, and I know I can trust PayPal. And I have a lot of additional resources by being able to break it down. So that's why I actually use that. It also shows you if you needed to take a look, you could go to the unpaid, the paid, and all of that. So you can go to default template settings, you can have items, you can put taxes in. There's so many things that you can do. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. I tried to provide highly valuable content, so I hope that something in this video may have spoken to you or helped you out in some way. I'll see you guys next week maybe, or tomorrow, or whatever.